the harvest.
Greetings to you all Africa FM listeners. This is Imene Nouad with the latest news from across the continent and the world. Cairo is hosting the 5th meeting on the consultative mechanism on Sudan, aimed at strengthening coordination of peace efforts and advancing solutions to end the internal war, now entering its 3rd year. Participants stress regional dialogue as key to stopping the conflict. In Somalia, President Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud praises the government's decision to cancel all agreement with the United Arab Emirates, accusing Abu Dhabi of repeated violations and interference that undermine Somalia's sovereignty and national unity. Somali Minister of Foreign Affairs Ali Omar further accuses the UAE of misusing Somali airspace to smuggle Yemeni separatist leader Al-Adarus Zubaydi, describing the act as a breach of international norms. We hear his comments on this.
The fugitive that escaped from Yemen to Berbera and allegedly flew with a United Arab illicit plane to Mogadishu. We have received that information. We received the manifest. His name was not in the manifest, but allegedly he was hiding in the plane. And the plane was cargo plane, was brought some goods to Somalia, and then they left. And it was one of the reasons that we took this action. Not the reason, but one of the reasons. There are other reasons that we took this action. So using Somali's airspace, Somali's airfields to illegally smuggle a fugitive is not something that Somalia condones and something that we tolerate, and we inform it. We release a statement against that. We have investigating still to make sure that information is true. We have received a credible report that information is there, but we cannot verify physically that he was that plane. But that information is sufficient enough to make this decision because UAE was using our airspace, was using our air bases for cargo planes for some time that go to Sudan and elsewhere. So we made a decision to ban all those non-civilian flights from UAE to Somalia and also from Somalia to UAE.
The Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic formally submits its candidacy for membership of the African Union Peace and Security Council for the 2026-2028 term, competing for the North African seat alongside Morocco and Libya. Widad Alawa has more on this report.
The Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic is throwing its hat into a key role in shaping Africa's peace and security. According to a diplomatic note circulated to the African Union Commission and its member states, the Sahrawi Republic's candidacy is based on its long-standing engagement within the continental organization and its firm commitment to the principles of African unity and justice grounded in mutual respect. The elections are scheduled for February 2026 during the African Union Executive Council's ordinary session to be held on 11th and 12th February in Addis Ababa. Western Sahara has been a member of the Organization of African Unity since 1982 and a founding member of its successor, the African Union. It is worth noting that Western Sahara took part in the establishment of the Peace and Security Council, as well as other AU institutions. In addition, both Morocco and Libya have also declared their candidacies for the same seat. Under African Union rules, the election is going to be taken into account equitable regional representation and contributions to peace and security on the continent. The upcoming vote will not only test Western Sahara's diplomatic influence, but also highlight the broader contest for leadership in Africa.
Several Sahrawi human rights organizations strongly condemn Morocco for preventing a Spanish human rights monitoring delegation from entering the occupied territories of Western Sahara, calling it a violation of international humanitarian law and an attempt to block independent scrutiny. In Libya, UN Deputy Special Representative Stephanie Curry meets High Council of State President Mahmoud Takala, reaffirming the unity of National High Electoral Commission and stressing the need for consensus between rival institutions to advance the political process towards elections. In Uganda, opposition leader Bobby Wine warns he will call for mass protests if President Yoweri Museveni rigs this week's presidential election as more than 20 million Ugandans prepare to vote. Human rights groups report increased pressure on opposition supporters ahead of polling day. In Togo, preparations continue for an extraordinary African summit in Lomé on January 17th and 18th, dedicated to stabilizing the Great Lakes region. The summit is held at the initiative of President Faure Nsanimbe, appointed by the African Union as chief mediator. Political analyst Diodone Ilunga Mbunga speaks to Yunus Jamamor.
When asked if the situation will come from regional diplomacy, my answer is this. It will not come only from international efforts and not only from regional efforts, but from a smart combination of both, with African leaders in charge. Regional actors bring closeness, knowledge of the people involved, and moral and political pressure. The international level brings resources, global legitimacy, and the ability to enforce sanctions. Are we seeing a comeback of African mediation? Yes, but not because of Pan-African ideas, because of realism. What is happening is a shift in responsibility. We are moving from distant international diplomacy to active regional diplomacy, because regional actors share the risk of instability. Peace in the DRC is not only a Congolese problem, it affects the whole region. Those who suffer from war include neighboring countries too. So, the solution cannot come only from outside.
In the Democratic Republic of Congo, 7 people are confirmed dead and several others seriously injured following landslides caused by flooding in Walikale area. 21 people remain missing according to local media. In Sudan's northern state, the UN Population Fund says doctors and midwives continue emergency obstetrics and reproductive health services for displaced women, with some medical staff even donating their own blood amid harsh conditions. Sudanese authorities in Port Sudan display over 570 ancient artifacts recovered after being looted from the National Museum in Khartoum during the early days of the war. UNESCO hails the recovery as a victory for humanity's shared heritage. In Sierra Leone, the Broadcasters Association expresses deep concern after 2 partner radio stations are destroyed by fire in the northwest region. SILBA launches an urgent appeal for funding and technical support to restore broadcasting services, according to its president, Stanley Bangura Jr. In Kenya, economists warn that the government's plan to borrow 1 trillion shillings domestically could crowd out private sector lending, threatening recent gains made after interest rate cuts. The New York Times ranks Algerian city of Oran 7th worldwide among the best tourist destinations for 2026, highlighting its cultural revival, Mediterranean heritage, and urban vitality. Yasmin Bdashur brings us this report.
Oran, the beautiful city, is a jewel by the Mediterranean Sea, known for its blue waters and lively music. Today, it's gaining international attention. The New York Times ranked Oran 7th in the world among the best travel destinations for 2026. This shows that Algeria is becoming a source of attraction on the tourism map. The newspaper talked about Oran's culture growth, where old history meets new and modern life. The city offers amazing sea views and a lively atmosphere. Every summer, Oran hosts the National Rye Music Festival, making it the capital of rye music in North Africa. The city also has many historical buildings, including the famous regional theater. The New York Times in this report encouraged travelers to walk along Oran's seaside, enjoy cafes, art galleries, and outdoor music for one unforgettable experience with one of many Algerian cultural flavors.
The first edition of the National Exhibition of Exported Algerian Products opens today at the Oran Convention Center, showcasing goods from multiple sectors now reaching markets across the continent. Concluding with the sports, AFCON semi-finals kicks off this evening, headlined by a highly anticipated clash between Egypt and Senegal as Nigeria faced host nation Morocco in the second semi-finals. CAF appoints Gabonese referee Pierre Ghislain Acho to officiate the Egypt-Senegal match despite objections from Algerian Football Federation, which has lodged formal complaints with FIFA and CAF over refereeing controversies earlier in the tournament. On the upcoming game, Nigerian vice-captain Victor Osman says the Super Eagles remain confident, united and fully focused ahead of their semi-final showdown with Morocco. We hear from him in this soundbite.
I have so many people that actually believe in me, knowing fully well that if I go to a game, I will score 1 or 2 or 3 goals. They believe so much in me. And for me, it's not the same when you be on the pitch. Most of the time, you can have all the opportunities and lose everything. Most of the time you can be playing a game and just see 3 opportunities and you get 3 goals. So for me, these people are the ones that also for me, trying to give everything also in the next game. But for me, when it comes to this team, I don't care about if I'm going to get goals or if I'm going to be the highest goal scorer or something like that, because we've got a lot of quality in this team to get goals for us, to get the assists, like Samuel, like Lukman, like Akko, like Paul. I think we are very, very huge offensive player that can do damage to any team. But of course, a lot is being expected of me. But to be honest with you, there is absolutely no pressure, because at the end of the day, I might be progressing and my team is falling. I'm not winning. So for me, I think when the Super Eagles is progressing, it gives me some sense of relief. So for me, when my team is progressing, I'm okay. And if I get my goals, I get it. If I get my assists, I get it. If I don't, I don't.
Well, Victor Osman said it all, and that's all for now. Thank you for paying attention to The Fullest. This harvest was directed by Yasmin and Muad. Control board with Abdu, streaming with Riyadh, and big thank you for the editing room. And you, dear listeners, keep tuning to Ifriqiya FM, the voice of Africa.
Savannah.